Hello, my name is Bill Holbert with Nuance. I am one of the sales engineers here. And today we're going to talk about Dragon Professional Group and its applications. Some of the things we're going to talk about today would be the training topics that are listed in front of you. The training topics are going to cover user profile basics. These are how you set your user profile, what a user profile is. We're going to cover using what we call a power mic, and the power mic is a microphone that we sell here at Nuance, which is noise canceling and broadcast quality. It's a great microphone to help you because you push down to say something and you let go of the microphone to turn it off. Dictation basics. This is what we'll go through and how to dictate sentences and phrases into Dragon. We'll also talk about common formatting techniques, which is bolding and underlining and italicizing. We're going to talk about making corrections. We're going to talk about once you make the corrections, how do I delete something? How do I delete a paragraph? How do I delete a sentence? How do I delete a word? How do I change a word? Those are the kind of corrections we're going to talk about. And even though we have well over 300,000 words in our dictionary, there's still words that we don't have, or phrases or proper names that we may not have spelled the way that they are spelled. So you can always add words to a dictionary. You can actually add the words and auto text. And auto text is basically a phrase or paragraph that you use over and over again that you can just call and say, I need this paragraph, and there it is. So you don't have to type it, you just say a couple words. We'll get to that in just a minute. What to expect, the success curve. So what this is everything that we see, every item that we've ever touched, every computer we've ever gotten onto, it's a learning curve. It's all new at the first time, every button's new, but after a month or two or a year or two, everything is so second nature. But with Dragon, that's only about 10 uses to get up here to its second nature. So just like a phone, you first get it, you're like, well, how do I go into settings? How do I change this? How do I change that? Nowadays, you know that because you've done it so many times. But the first times, everything got slower. And as you used it, it gets faster. So that's the same thing with Dragon. The more you use it, the faster it gets, the faster you recall the commands. Now, what we're going to do here is talk about our user profile. Our user profile is who you are to Dragon. It's your voice. It's the way you say things, the way you say boat or car or dog, the way you verbalize those things for you in particular. Dragon will learn the way you say it. So why is it important? Well, if somebody comes along that says that differently, like if they're from Boston, they say dog, take the dog for a walk, or from China or from India, it's a really different accent. That actually gets put in Dragon because it hears a different way you've said it than before, and it keeps the most current. So if you don't log out of Dragon and you don't relog back into Dragon with your proper ID, your voice print will go on whoever's profile that you're using. The way you log into Dragon is to type in your username. In this example, we're using an example of an email address, but your administrator will give you the login name and password that they've created for you. Once we set up our profile, once you click that username for the very first time, you'll click on Next here. It's just the installation wizard, and this allows you to set up the microphone, set up the volume on the microphone, and it starts capturing your voice. When you click on Next, you will get here to the Choose Speech options. And what this is, this allows you to choose the different region that you're in. In this case, it'll be United States. If you choose Canada, the word pound doesn't mean weight, it means dollar amount. So it does change a little bit depending on the region. Your accent, when we go to accents here on this next screen, we will see that there's all sorts of accents that we can have and tell Dragon that I have that type of accent. What this will do is this will turbocharge Dragon into learning immediately versus trying to learn throughout usage. It will eventually change it if you've done it incorrectly. Let's say I have a heavy Southeast Asian accent in English, but I didn't put it in here, I put standard accent. Eventually Dragon will figure out that you have that accent and make that your profile. It is faster to do it right here in the front. And teens, and people ask about teens all the time. Teens is people who always respond, yeah, with different things before and afterwards, higher pitch voices. So any of those will work for you, everybody. When we set up Dragon at this point, we're going to go into what's called the power mic. We're going to choose a microphone. We're going to select that power mic. And that Power Mic is the microphone we're going to be using for Dragon. Once we get to using that Power Mic for Dragon, what we'll do is we're going to click it and we're going to click on next. Now, if you do have a different type of headset, you do choose that. If you do have the Power Mics, please choose Power Mics every time because that'll give you the best result. If you happen to use a headphone microphone, make sure that's placed in front of your mouth directly, not off to the side, not pointing up straight up in the air. It's got to be directly in front of your mouth. If you happen to be using a computer notebook microphone, which I don't recommend, make sure you're directly in front of that. That is, most notebooks are what are called omnidirectional, and they pick up everything in the room. They pick up the dogs, they pick up everything, not like a good quality noise cancellation mic. So from here, it's going to bring up a paragraph, and that paragraph's going to say, well, I want you to read this paragraph. And what this is doing, it's listening to the background noise that you have. Once it listens to the background noise, it tries to figure out what's you and what's the background noise. And it adjusts the microphone in the background to listen to the frequency of your voice and start capturing that particular area. So this is all the training you will do to have Dragon work. Out of the box, it's 95% accuracy with 150 words a minute. So once you go from there, you do this, it starts learning every word you've said here. It starts learning your voice. So this is the only training you'll do to make Dragon work. So go ahead and read this paragraph. Pause this video and then start it back up after you've read that paragraph to Dragon. If you happen to get this improvement screen, you please just say, do not enable this now. It's nothing, we're just looking for statistics, numerical statistics. We never send words back across the wire. It is just something of a numerical, hey, this person logged in 700 times and it's more of statistics. We don't need that, okay? So just go ahead and say, do not enable this now. If it does not come up, it's been disabled automatically. You probably won't see this, but if you do see something that says age verification, there is a law out there saying we can't have Dragon with children under 13. So we just verify that you're above 13 years old. And then when you're finished, you click on finish. After a few moments, you will see the interactive tutorial come up. The interactive tutorial is a great tutorial that will show you how to use Dragon. One of the things about the interactive tutorial is that you can shut it down right now. You can click on the X in the top right-hand corner when it pops up. It would be up here in the top right-hand corner. Now, if you ever want to get the interactive tutorial, we'll go back here to what's called our Dragon bar. Click on the question mark, and then just go back to interactive tutorial right there. If I click on that, it should pop right up, and this is what you should be seeing on your screen is the interactive tutorial. And you can actually go through this and do the exercises. When you're finished with this, you click on the X in the top right-hand corner, and you're ready to go. Now we're going to talk about the Dragon bar. This is that black bar on your screen. You see it right here on my screen. I'm moving it on that screen right now. And what we're seeing is my Dragon is red and this one is green. Red is dead. Red means it's not turned on. It's not listening for anything. And there's no way you can make it hear something. It's physically turned off the microphone in your computer. Green says I'm listening to everything that I hear and I'm trying to write it. When it's green, say what you need to say in the application you need to say it in, okay? From there, turn it off. Either clicking it will turn on and clicking it will turn off, or you can press that Power Mic button and hold it, and the Power Mic button will turn it on and off also, okay? So let me get back here. So several things that we have here is the Dragon bar. And with that Dragon bar, what we can do is we have something called tools and settings. Okay, the first thing we want to do is just kind of show you the tools over here on the left-hand side. Now, under tools, what we have here is Dragon Pad and Dictation Box. Dragon Pad is nothing more than WordPad. Very simple, easy to use. I can dictate all day in there. You see my cursor's flashing. This is a good day to dictate with Dragon, period. Easy. I'm talking to you all through Skype and through Zoom. So sometimes Zoom does have a little bit of a delay in my Dragon, so bear with me. Under tools, we also have dictation box, where the dictation box is a non-formatted, just strictly text box. It's kind of like Notepad. Plug that in there, let that rip, go from there, you're good to go. Once we also have playback and read that back, if I dictated something through Dragon, I can highlight that text and I can say, play that back, and it'll play it back in my voice if it's a Word document. Also read that. If I wanted Dragon to read something off the screen, I can highlight that text, click on read that, and the computerized voice will actually read what it's seeing on the screen. Transcribe audio may or may not work for you all. And I don't mean the application won't work, but maybe you don't use voice recorders, or maybe you do. If you have a digital voice recorder, what you can do is you can take that audio, ship it to your email, and actually point to that audio file that you just did on your computer. So here's some I have here. If I just clicked on this, clicked on that right there, says Dragon Legal Demo. If I had that and I ran that, it would actually read the audio out of that file and place that in my Word document. So I can take anything I digitally recorded with just my voice only and dictate that or transcribe that into text. Command Center, this is where we do things like add new auto text, add new commands, manage custom commands, and command browser. We'll talk about auto text in just a few minutes, and we'll talk about adding new commands in just a few minutes. But this is a functionality if you want to that will help you do that, to set those auto texts and those commands up. With Command Center, we have Command Browser and Manage Custom Commands. These both allow you to see what you've created and modify those. So they're both very similar. They do have a few different functionalities, but both of these are very similar if you want to go back and edit something you created. The Accuracy Center here is just exactly that. It's accuracy. So if you want to increase how Dragon is more accurate, or you say things a certain way, you can actually have Dragon go out there and tune your voice or read certain paragraphs or emails that you've written, and it will start building a statistical database saying after I say the word, XYZ, I say ABC. And what will happen is it understands that. So if it didn't understand what you were saying, statistically you say this word after that, and it gets it much more accurate with a little bit of AI in there. This is not something that you have to do. Some people use it, some people go, okay, it doesn't matter because it's accurate enough. 98%, 95% is pretty accurate throughout Dragon without having to do this. The Vocabulary Center, this is where we can add words or phrases. I believe we added words or phrases for you all already. But once we had these words and phrases in there, these are additional words and phrases. Right now, your dictionary has well over 300,000 words in it, but we've also added some. And I don't have that list in front of me, but to look at those, you would go into Vocabulary Center, open Vocabulary Editor, and this is every word that we have in our dictionary. Lots of words. I could scroll here for like an hour doing this. A lot of words. So you see them, but if occasionally you'll see these ones with a red plus sign, and those words, and I'll show you what those look like in a second here. I'm going to go down to display, and I'm going to change those to the words I've added, called custom words. And everything that I have added into my Dragon as a custom word or phrase over the years is in here. I can delete it. I can click on that and say, hey, I don't want that anymore. I'll click on delete, and it tells me I can delete it. If I want to add one, I can just click on add, and we'll go through this a little bit later on, but I could spell it and add that word through there. Very easy to do. We're just going through the high-level functions here. We'll go through the details in just a little bit. Whenever you're finished with Dragon, please log out of Dragon. Once Dragon is logged out, basically you shut down Dragon from there. So you log out and then you exit Dragon. In settings, the biggest setting in here that you want to look at or really understand is auto formatting options. Now, what auto formatting options do, if you click on that, you have got auto formatting options here that allow you to print the things that we want printed, but we say differently. In other words, if I said $3.25, I want a 3.25. But if I don't want the word 3, the word dollars, the word 20, the word 5, the word cents. Don't want that. Or dates. If I say January 25th, 1953, in this case, I've told my date I want to use this format right there. It would be 012353. Okay. You could change that date function. So if you want your dates the way you say them, like if I said January 25th, 1953, it's going to be the full word January 25, 1953, times, etc. Okay. Very easy. Common abbreviations are going to be like street, avenue, etc. If you've checked that, you'll get those abbreviated. If you abbreviate titles, the word doctor, sergeant, different things like that have people's titles, names, PhD, things like that, they'll be abbreviated. Street addresses will come out correctly. Web addresses will come out correctly. The big one here that you want to look at is numbers of greater than or equal to. And what that means is currently, if I have a number that is, let's say there was 8 cases of typhoid in Virginia, because I said I only want to see numbers written if greater than or equal to 10, it would actually write the word EIGHT, not the number 8. So by adjusting this, if I said 0 here, then I will always get a number in everything I do, not just the word. Okay, very easy. Automatically add commas and periods. I don't recommend that at all, because what happens if you pause a little bit when you say something, if you said, we're eating grandma, and it didn't catch that comma, all of a sudden we're eating grandma, it just changes the sentence quite a bit. So I wouldn't recommend using that at all. And this last thing here is insert 2 spaces after period, depending on where you went to school. Depends on whether you have 2 spaces after a period or not. And that is the auto formatting in a nutshell. Play around with it. Now, we can do different things here, and we're going to talk about the Dragon Bar, the Power Mic next. The Dragon Bar is up here. One of the things we notice is if I move off that Dragon Bar and click on somewhere else, it shrinks. That's standard for Dragon. If you happen to click this button right there, collapse, it will actually, excuse me, if you click on this X right there, it's minimized to tray. Very important. If I click on that X, it does not shut down Dragon. It throws it down into my tray on the right-hand side. So just be aware that you're doing that. So if you see it down there in the tray, you can just right-click it and say Open Dragon. This is the Power Mic. Really, we'll go through this fairly quickly, but it's a really good microphone. The quality is exceptional. The microphone's on the top, the speaker's on the bottom. It's noise canceling. It does not pick up conversations around you. And here's the cool thing is that's a full-blown mouse right there. So if you move your thumb on that, it's a mouse. You can see I'm moving my thumb on, you can't see me moving it, but it's moving my mouse. And if you push down on it, it's a click. So that's a left mouse click. If you push down on that black square, it's a left mouse click. This is a left mouse click. This is a right mouse click. If you flip it over, there's a trigger that's currently set up as a left mouse click. Then you're like, well, what are the rest of these items? These other items are the big red circle is called dictate. Press that button, turns Dragon off, turns Dragon on. If you hold the button down, you say what you want to say, you pull it off, it's going to turn Dragon off. These big arrows there are tabs. They will take you to the next tab. So if you're in an Excel spreadsheet and you want to tab over, you can hit that. If you want to start a paragraph with a tab, you just hit that button. These other ones here are called next fields, and they work with auto text currently. But you're not limited to what we're giving you here. You have any command you want to add to those, and those will be a different class. But basically, there's a very simple way. If I say something to Dragon, maybe bold that. Maybe I could make this button be bold that just by saying bold that and then coming into here and making a modification. Very simple. We'll go through that in a different class, in our advanced class that we'll do later. Headsets, again, we talked about this earlier. The headset should be on your head, nice and firm, and the microphone should be exactly where the microphone on her lips are, right there, so it can pick up the best quality audio. Now, because we have the ability of logging in, Dragon has the ability of logging in from any computer that has Dragon on it. So when I log on to another computer, if I log on to another one on my desktop or another one in the shop and it's not my notebook, I want to use Dragon. As long as I log on Dragon, my profile will come into that machine. Once my profile comes to that machine, I can then at that point, go through and get all my words, macros, and auto text. Now, we're about to start having fun with Dragon, so let's have some fun. Key points in your first dictation: speaking in longer continuous phrases is what Dragon needs. And let me tell you why. If I just said the word weather, am I talking about the weather? Or am I talking about whether or not I want to go swimming today? Am I talking about, how about bear? If I say I'm running bare naked down the street being chased by a grizzly bear, Dragon will listen to what I'm saying and will put the right context in there. So one of the things like there's lots of homonyms, you're, there, etc., where Dragon needs the context of your sentence to do that. And that kind of takes me to my next point. When you're dictating with Dragon, you may not see that Dragon does word for word instantly. Sometimes it pauses after you've dictated. And that's because you've hit one of these words and it has to try and figure out, is that where? Like I want to wear those clothes, or where is my stethoscope? So, so sometimes you have to hit, say, period, or pause for about a second before that text comes out, okay? Punctuation is fully up to you. You get the punctuation. So if you're doing Dragon, you can say, today is a good day for all men to come to the aid of their country, period. Or you could say, the sky is blue, comma, the grass is green, period. You have to use those punctuations. And we do use punctuations across the board. And I believe we've sent the cheat sheets. You should have those, or you should be able to get access those. There are many cheat sheets for Dragon, especially for Outlook and for other applications out there that we have. We'll get those over to you in next couple days. If I use a period or a new paragraph, the first words after those are capitalized. And so if I say the sky is blue, period, new paragraph, the grass is green, the T in the grass is green is going to be capitalized. And some people have the thing where, let's say we're dictating, I say hello, I wait for the word hello to come up on the screen. My name is Bill. So I said it so slow, but I was waiting for Dragon to come up on the screen. What you want to do is just grab that microphone and just let it rip. Don't look at the screen, just write down what you want to say with your voice and go from there. So first thing we want to do is you want to open Microsoft Word, and you can do that in many ways. You can click on Dragon here and say, open Microsoft Word, click blank document. And by saying that information, notice I controlled Dragon. I controlled my computer. Okay, so I said, open Microsoft Word, and it opened the program, and then it said click blank document. So at this point, what I want you to do with that blank document flashing in front of you, I want you to go ahead and dictate this first paragraph. Dictating a full sentence enables better speech recognition, semicolon, and continue all the way through the word period. When you're finished, go ahead and pause this training exercise, and when you're finished, go ahead and unpause it. Once you finish this paragraph, you will find that your paragraph will look a little bit different than what it looked like on the screen. And that's because we had words like new paragraph, new line, semicolon, etc. You can see I had that right here in that paragraph that we did, okay? And so by saying those things that you see in this paragraph, here, dictating full sentences, you're just going to see words like new paragraph, comma, in different punctuation. And that's to be expected. So a lot of people will do this and go, oh, turn out differently. So at this point, I want you to say new paragraph and see what happens. Now, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. We'll show you how to correct those in just a little bit. So when you say new paragraph, that's one of the two commands that we'll use over and over again. It's one of the most common commands we have. New paragraph is means press the enter key 2 times to Dragon and insert a paragraph symbol, whereas new line says press the enter key just 1 time as a new line instead of a new paragraph. So the next thing I want you to dictate after saying new paragraph, and now your cursor should be 2 lines below what you just did, you should be able to read this. And there's some really interesting things. We talked about the numbers here in 61. So if I said 61-year-old man, it should be 6 and a 1 when we have everything set up in the auto formatting. So you would just say 61-year-old male with a past medical history of significant for Alzheimer's, all the way through hallucinations. From there, go ahead and pause this video and go ahead and read that to your Microsoft Word. From there, I want to do one more paragraph. We'll have a total of 3 paragraphs I want you to read, and the more we do this, the more comfortable you feel. And again, don't worry if you make mistakes. We're going to show you how to correct those. So the first thing I want to do is do new paragraph. So again, we're doing new paragraph. Again, you're going to see the cursor drop down 2 lines. Okay. From there, I want you to go ahead and dictate patient summary and objective findings : through chills, period. And some of these, I believe we added a lot of these acronyms already in there, so most of these should come out correctly. And go ahead and dictate this. It should take you about 30 seconds to a minute to dictate. Pause the video, and when you pick it up, we'll go to the next section. We're going to talk about the commands to navigate between words and phrases. Okay, so we've got all this text in there. All the text is dictated, and it should look very similar to this right here. And I'm sorry, let's see if I can zoom in on that just a little bit for you. So this is the text that we're looking at, basically that you did the same thing that I did. I dictated all this. And I want to go through there and I want to fix something. Let's say I didn't want to use, see, we found the word significant in here. So the 61-year-old male has a significant, his history significant for Alzheimer's disease. But maybe I want to change that or modify that word. You see how I just grabbed that with my mouse? And you still have the ability of using mice and keyboard commands throughout Dragon. But why would you do that if you could just do this with Dragon? So I could just come up to Dragon, I could hit that power mic button, hold it down and say, select significant. Now I said select significant. And by saying select significant, it actually highlights this word, okay? And when we highlight this word, Dragon will come up and select significant. It will bring up this correction menu. And this correction menu itself has a couple things. It says, well, maybe you want to do all capitals, or maybe you just want to capitalize the first letter. And to grab anything in this list here, you could just say choose in the option you want. So if I said choose to, notice it went to all bold, or all, excuse me, all capitalized. I could have used the actual command called cap that, all cap that. Select significant, cap that. Select significant, all cap that. Select significant, uncap that. Nope, scratch that. Notice I made a mistake there and I said scratch that. And what that basically tells Dragon is to, oops, I didn't mean to say what I meant to say. And I want to go back a step. This is very similar to undo, except undo goes back every single step on your computer, including mouse clicks and keyboard presses. Whereas scratch that goes wherever the cursor is and then looks for whatever I said in that place with my voice. It remembers. Another command I like showing everybody, and really the second command I always show people, is how to move around. Now, see I'm moving my mouse with my cursor, with my mouse, excuse me, around this document. But why would I want to do that when I could just go to Dragon and say something? So I could actually say to Dragon, I want to move my cursor right before the word significant. I want to move my cursor right there, or I want to move it right there. And I'm just using the word significant because we've used it before here. It could be any word on this page, and I'll show you how that works. Insert before significant, insert after significant, insert before punctuation, insert after Dragon. Oops, scratch that. Insert after Dragon. Now, scratch that. Now, when I use Dragon, it had Dragon here and it had Dragon here. You saw these little green boxes, and I'll show you another example of that. Those show you that there's multiple copies of that word on this document. So watch how we do this and select things. Insert before the. For. Insert before the. One. Insert after the. 2. Insert before dementia. Scratch that. Insert before dementia. Insert after bowel. Insert before requiring. You see how I'm moving my cursor all around this screen here? And that's what these commands up here say. So basically, these are the commands on this navigation commands page that will get you in the cheat sheet. But a lot of these are the top commands that we use. Now we have other ones here. So we could say, insert after weakness, go to end of sentence, go to previous sentence. So you see how Dragon jumps back and forth between sentences now? If I say go to the end of the sentence, it's going to find the sentence I'm on, looking for that period space. And if I say go to the previous sentence, it's going to say wherever I'm at, go to the beginning of that sentence in case I wanted to add something. Whenever my cursor's on the screen, I'm always in insert mode. I could just then say something else I want to put there. Now I can also say things like go to first paragraph, go to second paragraph, go to third paragraph, go to fourth paragraph. Go to end of second paragraph. Go to end of third paragraph. Go to end of fourth paragraph. If I have multiple pages, I could say go to second page, go to third page, go to fourth page, etc. Very, very easy to do. Okay, the cheat sheets that we'll get you guys will have everything on it. There's a lot of commands. Now, we do command everything in Word, so there are like 10,000 commands. You don't need to memorize them, and I know that sounds daunting, but you could just use, I don't know, 5 or 6 and probably get 95% efficiency. Bold, underline, select, insert, and that's probably about all you'll need. But again, you can always at any time, if you just want to put your keyboard in here and type something, you sure could. So totally up to you on that, on how you use Dragon. We can also go left words and right words, etc. Again, you can pause this and play with these commands on this page. I will also send a copy of this PowerPoint, and you can have that in front of you, and you can use these same examples, because all these examples have a page next to them on practice, and go from there. Now, we talked about how to select a word, but what do we do once we select it? And this is more formatting. So we want to bold it, underline it, italicize that. So we'll go back here, and let's say I want to grab significant here. So how do we do that again? We turn Dragon on, select significant, bold that, underline that, italicize that, make that blue. Those commands I just walked you through, format that text. So if I was on the home screen here, you can see it. I bolded it, italicized it, underlined, and all I said was select significant. It highlighted the word, bold that, underline, or you don't have to do them all together. You can just do one of them. So maybe I could say select medical history, bold that. Select objective. Select bowel, underline that. Select dementia, italicize that. Now, if I want to grab more than just one word or a phrase, maybe I don't like goiter through bladder here and I want to wipe that out. Very simple. I could just say, let me delete that. My Dragon was on. I was talking. Rookie mistake. I've only done this 1,000 times. So from here, what I could do is I could just say goiter through bladder. So from here, I could say select goiter through bladder. Delete that. Undo. Italicize that. Make that blue. So the command I used was select the first word through the last word, goiter through bladder. Okay? Pretty easy to do. Pretty easy stuff. As formatting goes, that's about it. There's a couple of the commands I want to show you real quick, but all this, again, you can go through here all the examples that we have here on this page are on this page. So there's an exercise for almost every one of those. One of the things that we want to talk about is to unbold. Let's say I bolded something. I said bold that or underline that. And whenever I have something highlighted, I have to use the word that after it, because if I don't, it'll actually write the word underline. So, but a couple things that you want to look out for is maybe I bolded something. I can come back here and I could say, select cleaning. Select cleaning. Bold that. Unbold that. Italicize that. Unitalicize that. Underline that. Ununderline that. You can see I can control any of my functions with Dragon. So make my PowerPoint here. So from there, that's basically it for formatting the text. You can say things like click Alt F. Anything that you can do with your keyboard, you can just say click and the command. So if you have something on your screen you want to click on, I wouldn't say it works 100% of the time for every program, but for Microsoft Office it does. So you could say click Save Document, and it'll actually save the document. Once you've named that document, you say Save Document, it'll instantly save it. Key correction points, you can go through here and read this. Very simple, just some of the things that we talked about. It can also learn from your verbal and written input. Dragon can. Lots of stuff we can do here. So one of the things that we can also do is train words, and we're going to show you how to add words to Dragon vocabulary right now. Very simple. Dragon has well over 300,000 words, but sometimes you want to add names, etc. So the easiest way is to get to this screen called Add Words or Phrase. And how do you get to that screen? The first time we've actually used this Dragon bar, we click on Tools, we click on Vocabulary Center, and we want to say I want to add word or phrase. From here, what we want to do is add whatever word we're saying. In some cases, let's say we're adding a doctor's name, Dr. Jill Smith, and that's what we're gonna. That's the name. We're gonna call her Dr. Jill Smith. That's the way I want her name to come out every time I type it. But I know her as Dr. Jill, so I could actually come over here and say Dr. Jill. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm showing you how to add a word that has special characters. Dr. period. The period is special characters. But we're adding Dr. Jill Smith here. But I'm also going to call her Dr. Jill. What we mean by that is every time I say Dr. Jill from now on, the spoken form of this word is Dr. Jill. But what I want you to write is whatever I put over here. It doesn't even have to be the same. This is actually adding what we call a verbal alias. And we'll go back to just a word by itself in a minute. But this is one of the most powerful things we can do here with Dragon, because we can put email addresses in here. We can do different things up to 120 characters, and keeps me from typing, especially people's very strange email addresses these days. Let's give you an example. Let's say I have a strange email, billholbert@nuance.com or nuancespeech.com. That's not my real email address, but to just show you an example, I don't want to say that every time I do an email. I might just want to say Bill's email. By saying Bill's email is my spoken form, whatever I put there will print all of this out. And why is that important? Because if I go into Microsoft Word and I do an email, I could just say Bill's email, poof, out comes his email address, okay? But if we're just adding a simple word, let's go back to just adding a very basic word to the dictionary. Let's say we have a word called, and I know this is not in there, poutine. Poutine is gravy that is found in Canada, that is on everything. It's kind of like mayonnaise they put on in England on fries and everything. Poutine is just a gravy, it goes on kind of everything. And you want to add that, poutines, let's just call it poutines, P-O-T-I-N-E-S. Now, the word doesn't exist in the dictionary. I know it doesn't exist in the dictionary. So I want to train that word. I want to tell Dragon how I say that word. So click on, I want to train the pronunciation of the word or phrase. Click on add. And I say the word poutines. And I click on save. When I do that, what happens is it records my voice in the way I say things and puts it into Dragon. Very simple. So now if I came back to my document and over here and I said poutines, and that word that didn't exist is now coming out the way I want it every single time. Make sure that when you put that word in there, you put it capitalized or with proper punctuation. If you don't, it's not going to work. And the last thing we want to cover is auto text. So if you have something that you want to use over and over and over again, you can put that in what's called auto text. Let's say we have a summary, patient summary here that I want to use. Okay, something very similar to this. Maybe it's not the exact same, but just to give an example, it's a set of text that I want to be able to use over and over again. So how do I do that with Dragon? I come out to Dragon. I go into what's called Tools. I go down to Vocabulary Center, Command Center, add auto text. Okay. Once we get to auto text, what I want you to do is type in what you want to say to get this. I could say new patient summary. Okay. Here I can enter what I just copied off of that directly into Dragon. The formatting, the color, the text, everything will come over exactly. Once you have that, and if I say new patient summary now in Dragon, so right here if I say new patient summary, boom, every single time I can have that same paragraph pop up, okay? Now, why is that important? Because you can actually create fillable fields with this, and let me show you what I mean by that. So if I come up to Command Center and I want to look at that command, I can go to Manage Custom Commands. It's going to take just a minute because I have a lot of commands in here. And what it's doing at this point is it's bringing up my files here. And you can see I've got like lots and lots of stuff, right? So insert patient summary. Oh, we have an intake form. Let's try that one. Let's see what insert patient intake form is. So let's come up here and delete some stuff here, or actually go to the top here and see what that is. Insert patient intake form. Bingo. Now, this could be a great example of what we're talking about, okay? So you see these brackets I added? These aren't anything special. They're just brackets. That's next to your key on the keyboard. The open and close brackets are what we're using. Now, why do I have those brackets there is what you're probably asking. So what I could say here is I could tell Dragon, go to the next field that it finds. And it's going to find these open and close brackets. And you could say, enter here, etc. Right? So, okay, so now show you what we're doing here. What we said was, I don't want to just have the brackets. I want to put a descriptor in there. So if I use Dragon in the future and I give this to somebody that doesn't really know what to put there, they at least know what to put in that field. And the way this works, if I just say to Dragon, next field, Bill Holbert, next field, 17, next field, 63, next field, yellow, next field, 120 over 90, next field, blown and reactive, I don't know. So you can see how I just created that fillable form. If we go back to it with the undo command here, I'll go back to what we had here. To copy that into the auto text, you just highlight it, you right click it, click on copy. From there, you click on Tools, Command Center, add new auto text. And when I say insert new intake form, and I paste that, every time I say insert new intake form, come back up here, delete that, just to show you what that looks like. Insert new intake form. Next field, next field, previous field, previous field. And that is how you move around a Dragon. So that is basically the Dragon class in a nutshell. From here, what we can do is we can finish this class off by saying that if you have any questions, contact your administrator. Your administrator there will forward the questions to us and we'll be able to help you out. We want this to be successful. We want this to be a enjoyable experience. So again, if you have any questions about it, please get to your administrators. They will get it to us and we will get the additional cheat sheets and stuff out to you momentarily. I hope you've had fun with this class. I enjoyed talking to you and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.